Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan discussing peak wokeness in California. And every time you think California, you're just like, this is it. This is as high as it can go. California is like, no, let me just try one more time. And you're like, no. California, you don't have to get more woke. And California's like, just let me try one more time. And they did it. They have someone who is a fat czar or a weight czar. Basically, this woman has been hired and is getting paid in six figures to maintain the fat population of California, because anything less is bigotry. So we're going to get into the Joe Rogan clip. Then I'm going to show you some clips of this lady. It's amazing. I can't believe it. If I just knew back when I was 350 pounds when I was a kid that there was a six-figure job waiting for me, I would have never started working out. Are you kidding me? Let's get into this clip and then I'll show you a bunch of other stuff.
No.
Austin. This place?
Yeah.
I don't think Austin was even Republican until about 4 years ago.
Yeah. A lot of the country's Republican now.
Yeah. Most of California is now.
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
Just the high population density cities that are still blue. They're still clinging on to the dream.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Did you see the San Francisco lady they just hired?
No.
They laid a czar to stop fat phobia. Have you seen this lady?
No.
It's wonderful. Hold, please.
Okay.
Let me say this, because this is a city that's completely crumbling, that has no resources,
But
that
listen,
has enough money to hire this person.
My
Here we
daughter's
go.
in the 95th percentile right now, so I agree with her. I don't want anyone to make fun of fat people.
Oh, it's not making fun of fat people. It's literally like encouraging people to be fat.
Oh, they're
It's-
encouraging to be
yeah,
fat.
It's saying there's nothing wrong with being fat, which is crazy. You know, it's one thing if you don't want to be mean to people because they're fat, yes. And,
Right.
you know, if you can encourage them to be healthy, yes. And I mean, I'm not the expert on GLP-1 agonists, but this lady's out of her mind.
Huh.
You know, I think there's probably a lot of side effects to a lot of these drugs that people are taking to get skinny, but at least it's moving you in a right direction, because being fat is killing you.
Yeah.
Right.
Jamie, I just texted it to you.
I'm actually giving for Christmas a few of my friends Wegovy.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm joking, but
Oh.
Yeah. It's a nice bomb.
it was a nice bomb. But at least we're not
serious.
talking about grizzly bears. If we're talking about grizzly bears, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
I'm really
bomb
bombing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. This is so crazy.
CRFI. If you're like many women, you've been to a birthday party or a small office gathering, an event that's meant to bring people together. There's swinging tunes, some adult beverages, and good convo. And then it comes time to cut the cake, and someone decides to ruin everything.
Oh my God, that slice is huge. That slice is bigger than Beyonce's paycheck. Can you cut me half of that?
A cake-related fatphobic incident, or CRFI, is that moment when it's time to eat delicious cake and it's interrupted by a moralizing impulse. Inevitably, there's always someone at the party who has to declare publicly that their slice is too large, and that the person who's cutting the cake, almost invariably a woman, must do some disproportionate amount of labor in order to accommodate their need to feel superior. Let's take a look.
Can you do a little bit, can you scrape all the frosting off and cut it in half and give me 2 forks, because I'm sharing. Small, a little bit more, tiny, no, less than what you're smaller, please.
Could you just cut my piece into 12 equal symmetrical little pieces and put each one into a tiny little Tupperware so that I can have a bite for each month of 2018? Thanks.
Smaller.
Let's take a step back and view what's happening through a critical feminist lens. CRFIs typically happen in environments where there are primarily or exclusively women. Women are disproportionately negatively affected by diet culture because diet culture maps onto sexism. Like many parts of diet culture, there is a significant performance component. You have to show others that you are being good. Controlling how much you eat is part of what it means to be a, quote, good woman. This kind of behavior is a way for people to keep other people in check through food moralizing, surveillance, and policing. These are the mechanisms that are at the core of diet culture.
And that is what I wanted to show you. That's what Joe Rogan's watching. I just wanted to show you a little bit more than what they show in the episode. Trying to keep you in check. My doctor said something about my arteries getting clogged. He's just trying to keep me in check. The doctor's like, no, I just don't want you to. You've been my patient for 10 years. I just don't want you to die. Oh, whatever, doc. I see your bigotry, okay? Anyways, let's get to the Rogan clip.
Take a step.
This is what, like, statistically, they've shown that 60% of liberal women are mentally ill. 60.
Right.
Well, how do you?
This is what that is.
How do you?
This
how
is
do you,
mental illness.
Who polls that?
Anybody who's answering a poll is mentally ill, so it's a bad sample
Yeah, I
group.
think it's a bad sample group. I don't think anyone who ever answers a poll is mentally sane. You know, they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can definitely judge a conversation by its haircut.
That's what it is.
That girl with the red hair, if I saw her, I'm staying far away from that
I mean,
chick.
be honest,
I
let's
know
be
what
honest.
that couple's
Me
gonna
and you
be.
have kind of easier lives because our wives are Republican. Let's be honest. That's why.
Look, if,
It definitely
listen,
helps.
it just...
Well, it's not that she's Republican, my girl. She's an old school Latina where she's just more like, I don't know, Chris, you're going to have to get out there and work, get up there and fight. And when she hears she's like, this is annoying. I got to take care of my kids. We got to do shit. I'm just not going to get sucked into the... She's kind of like just she's an old school woman. Old school women like that's how it is.
Yeah, that's
Yours
great. But
too.
what this is about is a complete collapsing of a civilization.
Yes.
San Francisco is woke peak. That's like the epicenter. That's the event horizon of wokeness.
Right.
And these who have no money for anything, they can't clean the human off the streets. They hired this lady to make the dumbest video about the size of cake. Like, isn't it okay to want a small piece of cake? Why do I have to eat a big piece of cake? And it makes you feel better?
Yeah.
Because you want to be a glutton
Yeah.
and just saddle up to that cake and just shove it in your face?
Yeah.
Right.
And here's the thing. Those people are never going to be at a party with anyone who's ever going to judge them anyway. So who are they
Right.
even talking to?
Right.
You know?
Well, it's one girl who might not want to stuff her face.
Yeah, but at that
And
party...
they're like, come on. It's
Yeah.
like the
Right.
guy who wants you to keep drinking. That's all you had?
Right.
Have a shot. It's the same thing. Alcoholics always want you to do shots.
Sure. Yeah.
People who are addicted to food want you to eat bigger slices of cake, and they make this ridiculous video. Like the mental gymnastics you have to do to make that video, and
gross.
then look at it and think, I think we're making a solid point.
Yeah.
And we'll break down the first letters of it, CFRI. You know?
Do you think it's the collapse of a civilization, like the way Rome got a little, zany at the end? Or do you think this is unique in that humans have so much time on their hands because of the Industrial Revolution and then the technological revolution on top of that? So this is just a consequence of the tech revolution where nobody, people working from home, everyone's working on the computer, it's a talking economy, and and they're losing their mind because they don't have purpose.
Well, there's that too, right? But all civilizations collapse. So let's take a look at why. So most civilizations, they're a monarchy, and it's usually they're run after they die by their children, and that's how it all falls apart. Even if you look at like Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, his family couldn't hold up. They couldn't run things the way he did. They didn't know. They didn't understand strategy. They didn't understand.
He was a wild dude.
He's a wild dude.
Yeah.
So his kids did a good job. They hung in there for a couple hundred years. After a while, it all fell apart. But our society is different in that we have essentially a republic, right? So we have a democratically elected republic, and they've done a lot to try to circumvent that. They've done a lot to try to have ultimate control over the media, ultimate control over the military, and it's mostly people that aren't even elected, right? So there's a lot of like weirdness that's moved us closer and closer towards a monarchy, closer and closer towards tyranny. And then once it gets into tyranny, then you can only do that for so long. That lasts, for as long as they can keep it going. Rome did it for a long time. There's a lot of civilizations that hang in there, but eventually it all falls apart.
I'm sure that lady feels exactly like Joe Rogan with what he was just saying. She's like, you know what? This is actually tyranny because I want to eat 7 pieces of cake. The fact that they only brought 1 cake to this party is a little bigoted. I can kind of feel the hatred. I don't understand. This is why I put pizza in my purse. This is ridiculous. Trying to hold us down, guys. This is like a monarchy. This is tyranny, what's happening. It's so crazy. Just the fact that they have something called a cake-related fat-phobic incident. Or cake-related, I don't even know, a cake-related incident. We've had a cake related incident here. That's how California is. California is like people looting. That's why they let the looters get away. They're like, we got too much going on right now. We had 4 cake related incidents, and there's a lot to sort out here. there's chocolate, there's vanilla. I don't know. Someone said there's some kind of butterscotch cake. They're making small slices of cake at this party. We had to kick in the door. We had to kick in the door and make sure this lady was able to eat half of a cake. Whew, it's been a long day. What's happening in California? Gavin Newsom is doing all of this weird stuff because he wants all the woke leftist progressive votes when he runs for president. That's what he's trying to get all of California to vote for him when he goes and inevitably runs for president. I'm convinced, or he's, again, I've said it before, he's like a Batman villain. That's what he is. He's slick back hair, and he's like, I'm gonna make them all eat cake. Watch my plan. That's where the $24 billion went. It went to cake. Batman's like, why are you doing this, Gavin? And he's like, and he skips away. It's absolutely crazy. I love it. I love it. This lady right here. She's the best. She's the best. Oh man. Is this the Matt Walsh clip? Here, let's start with which Matt Walsh clip do I start with? There's just so much to go through here. I'm just gonna go with this. I think this one I already played. Let's try it again.
RFI.
No. Actually, let me just hear the acronym.
If you're like many women, you've been to a birthday party or a small office gathering, an event that's meant to bring people together. There's swinging tunes, some adult beverages, and good convo. And then it comes time to cut the cake, and someone decides to ruin everything.
Oh my God, that slice is huge.
That lady doesn't say that when she sees cake. No offense to I'm not making fun of anybody. We bring truth here. Okay, YouTube? I'm not making fun of anybody. This is nothing. I'm just saying we have to bring truth. Okay? Let's hear a little bit more from this lady. They hired her. She makes 6 figures. She works in the government.
Hi, my name is Virgie Tovar, and I'm the author of You Have the Right to Remain Fat, as well as a few other books on fat positivity and body acceptance. When I think about what people might be surprised by or what you wouldn't think of when you think of eating disorders, I immediately think of being a kid. I was a kid in a larger body, a teen in a larger body, and also I'm an adult in a larger body. And the message I always got from my doctor was shrink your body by any means necessary. And it really felt like there was a sense of a don't ask, don't tell. So because I truly believed, right, and this is where I think the surprise comes in. I really believed that this was about my health. I really believed that my doctor was right. Because why would I believe anything? Hi, my name.
Her doctor must be so frustrated. This has nothing to do with my health. He's like, ma'am, stop insulting me. I just want you to stop your salt intake. It's extremely high. And she's like, this is ridiculous. And why is there no cake in your waiting room? I'm reporting a cake related incident right now. And he's like, ma'am, this is a doctor's office. You can't do this anymore. Please. I'm not saying to stop eating. I'm just saying just a little bit of weight. Just please. And she's like, you're a Nazi. Sorry, fascist. I'm leaving. He's just like, ma'am, this is for your health. Sure it is, buddy. Sure it is. And she just skips off. And then, one day that doctor's going to be like, he's going to hear that voice and he's going to be like, who is that? Oh, it's this woman. She's in charge she's the Weight Czar of California. He's like, wait, hold on a second. He sees her face. He's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Do you know how many doctors there are that are probably so mad? They're like, I'm a doctor. Why didn't I get this job? It makes no sense. This is so destructive. And you know what? Much deeper, I'm making jokes here, but much deeper. This is one of these things that, it's not breaking, it's not going to collapse society, but it is one of those things that you can make the argument that it's going to weed people out, weed them out because they're just going to eat and eat and eat. But it's one of those things that's meant to damage us as a people. Because, this is just in California, but these videos aren't just in California. You know what I mean? I'm in Texas. I have access to these videos. This ideology at the end of the day, because this is actually what this is able to get to a lot of people and get to a lot of young people. And a lot of people are going to buy into it because it's so easy. Like right now, I'm overweight. I know I don't look it, but I need to lose a bunch of weight and I'm doing it. And it's hard. But imagine if I was a different person and I heard this and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't realize everyone's just racist around me. That's all. This is not about my health. This is about them being racist and I'm a person of color and that's why they're doing this. It's very destructive. It's just one of those things. Anytime I see stuff like this, I'm always like, oh, this is this is my mind. I'm like, this is the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is doing this. That's why this is happening right now. I have another clip here I'm going to play really quick, just a little more about this lady. And, God bless her. God bless her, there is something to be said for people feeling good. People, you need to feel good in the body that you're in while you're improving it, because every day would suck if you were completely just, you hated your body. And then on top of that, you're trying to work to make it better. That's a terrible place to be in. And I've been there. You have to really be, comfortable and happy with your body and then also improve it at the same time. And I think that's the balance. But here it's just completely like, no, if you improve, and this happened to Adele, actually, Adele, the singer, she lost a bunch of weight and a lot of her fans and communities like this, they turned on her because they're like, oh, this is fat phobia. You lost a bunch of weight because you weren't comfortable in your body and you were supposed to be a role model for so many young people who are in the same type of body. And look what you've done. And Adele was like, what? Adele's like, I'm going to find a Jamaican fiance now. Bye. And that's what she did. She went, that's it. Good for her. Same thing's going to happen to Lizzo. You guys know about Lizzo, right? Lizzo lost like a lot of weight, like at least 50 pounds. And pretty soon, her fan base is going to turn on her too. Because they're going to be like, oh, you weren't comfortable, huh? You weren't comfortable? Do I have to report a cake-related incident right now? Oh, you want a smaller piece of cake? Yeah, I know what to do with you. Police? California police, they come and arrest you. Here, let me play this clip.
Team. I couldn't even guess what her actual job with the Department of Public Health would entail. But let's learn a little bit about Virgie and what she thinks, from her own words.
Diets and diet culture could not exist without fat phobia. So what is fat phobia? A form of bigotry that says that fat people are inferior, bad, and ugly. A lot of people don't realize that fat phobia is a form of bigotry. We kind of think that our attitudes towards fat people are based on concerns about health. Fat people actually have less access to meaningful participation in society. I never thought to blame fat phobia, the bigotry ideology that positions fat people as inferior. I only ever blamed myself. Fat phobia is an actual legitimate form of discrimination. It aligns with other types of discrimination, like around race or gender or any number of marginalized identities. Our current cultural attitude is that the solution to fat phobia is for fat people to become thin people.
I am one of the many plus size people and people of color who didn't get the eating disorder diagnosis or treatment that they needed because of things like bias inherent to the way that eating disorders are diagnosed currently.
There's a lot of ways in which thinness and fitness become a stand-in for whiteness and masculinity.
That's right. It all... I could not imagine being white and watching something like that and be like, that's on me too? I did that? This is unfair. Oh my gosh, this lady really exists. It's amazing. I love it. I love it at the end of the day, that this is happening, that this person exists doing this. But to blame it all on, it's like it's like the mental gymnastics or lack thereof. Doom. But the fact that she's lumping in all of these things, it's like it's race, it's gender, it's feminism, it's this, it's that, and has nothing to do with health. That's, all jokes aside, that's not a proper way to look at any of this. It's so crazy to me that that's what's going on right now. So really fun to know that this person exists. I'm not gonna bring you updates about this person. I gotta be honest. There's a lot of things I'm like, well, I gotta update eventually. No, this is it for this person. I think, unless she becomes governor one day, then it's gonna be crazy. Oh my gosh, here I'm gonna play one more clip because this trips me out. That, and it's not just about her; it's about the guy too. It's just so weird that this is a real podcast and a real conversation that's happening. Definitely not finding out the name of the podcast for you. Sorry, I'm not going that deep. Not on this one. Listen to this.
Where do you see the intersection, really? What is your definition of health?
Yeah, that's really complicated, right? I think I want to talk about that question, but I want to start by saying that, no one has to be healthy. No, right? Like, I mean, it's like, no, like there is no governing body that's like out there putting, you know what I mean? It's like no one.
What? Why is he agreeing? You could tell he doesn't really agree. He snapped and said T. Like, do people really do that? Is that a real thing? Am I just getting very, very old? She said no one has to be healthy. First off, just aside from how crazy that sounds. And then he goes, T. Bro, you're so manicured. What are you talking? You know this guy likes looking good. You know he does. Like, come on. What are we talking about? Why are you accepting this? It's so odd. Look at your hair. You have a fade. Look at that. You have curls in the front. You got a fade. Look at your beard. It's perfectly manicured. You're at a healthy weight. You know you like to look good. Why are you agreeing with what she's saying? No one has to be healthy. And again, that right there for me just goes right back to the whole thing of this weird thing that they're doing to people in society. Trying to put that in people's heads. No one has to be healthy. You don't have to act with integrity and, beyond food, just integrity, the music being so degrading, the subversion of what people should be doing in the world and what we should be going after and how we have to idolize material. And all of it is just making, I guess it is leading to a collapse in society. You know what? I should say a moral collapse in society. And it's just weird to see. Very, very weird. But I just wanted to bring that to you guys because it made me laugh. The more I dug into this person, the more I laughed. But at the end of the day, it is a serious topic. And again, and you know what? I have to just bring up at the end. I forgot to bring this up. The fact that Joe Rogan's guest, what's this guy's name? Giannis Pappas? The fact that this guy just agrees. Let me get a little shot of this guy real quick so you know which guy I'm talking about. This guy. The fact that he just agrees with what this lady has to say. Like, I feel for him. He says his daughter's like in that 95 percentile. So right away he just agrees. And Joe's just like, no, it's not. This is not making fun of fat people at all. Like, it's completely different. Right away he's just like, I agree with her. You didn't even hear what she has to say. That's the problem with a lot of people in Hollywood. Just right away, did you say fat phobia? I agree with her. Do you even know what her philosophy is? Are you kidding me? You know what kind of road she wants to walk your kids down? No one has to be healthy. It's crazy. Now, other than that, I'm going to go eat a bunch of pancakes, okay? I'm not a fascist. I'm not a racist. I'm going to go eat a bunch of pancakes. Obviously. I'm trying to do my part here. But like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.